What's up, Taiwan? I'm Liao with 10 minutes of news from Taiwan and around the world. Protesters interrupted a speech by the mayor of Taipei on the anniversary of the 228 incident. Hecklers rushed the stage and shouted for Mayor Jiang Wan'an to kneel down and apologize. Jiang is the great-grandson of Chiang Kai-shek, the authoritarian leader whose soldiers killed thousands after the island-wide uprising in 1947. Security guards held the protesters back and led them away. Jiang was unharmed. In his speech, he apologized for the violence by officials in Taipei that sparked the civil unrest. Jiang, however, did not mention his family's connection to the incident. The brutal murder of an activist's mother and daughters shocked Taiwan in the early 80s. No one ever faced charges for the crime. And now a reinvestigation says government agencies tampered with the evidence. The government-led reinvestigation took 3 years. It found that government and intelligence agencies at the time had manipulated evidence and obstructed justice. The murder victims were the mother and twin 7-year-old daughters of democracy activist Ling. The review also linked organized crime members and public officials to the murders, but it said their full names remain secret due to national security concerns. The Ling family murders are among the highest-profile unsolved cases from Taiwan's nearly 40 years of martial law, a period known as the White Terror.
关于228的、关于美丽岛的这一些，不是跟国家安全，就是会泄出来之后会造成国家安全的，我们希望它能够解密。
One of Taiwan's top government officials, Chen Ju, helped transform Taiwan from a dictatorship to a democracy. In an exclusive interview with our reporter Jeremy Olivier, Chen says the country is still working toward transitional justice and respect for human rights.
Chen Ju is a towering figure in Taiwan's political scene. A former mayor of the southern city of Kaoshiung, Chen now heads the Control Yuan, the country's top government watchdog. The role also puts her in charge of the National Human Rights Commission. It's a fitting position for Chen, who was a dissident during Taiwan's decades under martial law. In the 1970s and 80s, Chen worked with other activists to push for democratic reform. They eventually founded the Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP, Taiwan's current ruling party. Chen says they were influenced by the events of February 28, 1947. That day, people in Taiwan rose up against the government before facing a brutal crackdown. It became known as the 228 incident. The violence led to a long period of repression called the White Terror and created a climate of fear.
因为228事件的影响，让台湾社会没有人敢讲话，没有人敢讨论，所以每个人在从事台湾民主运动的过程，充满着压力、恐惧，随时都要做黑牢的准备。我想这不是一个正常的社会。
In the years since Taiwan became a democracy, Chen has watched the country struggle to account for the abuses committed under authoritarian rule. That process is often called transitional justice. In 2018, Taiwan established the Transitional Justice Commission, fulfilling one of the major goals of President Tsai Ing-wen's campaign. The commission worked to investigate Taiwan's undemocratic past until May last year, when it was disbanded. But Chen says that transitional justice in Taiwan is still not done. That applies even to the 228 incident.
228事件到今天，中间还是有很多的事实没有厘清。那我们在整个228事件没有追究加害者，加害者在哪里？我们有那么多人死亡。 有那么多人家破人亡，有那么多人被迫流落在国外，但是到底加害者是谁？
Chen says many documents and pieces of evidence related to the White Terror have been withheld or destroyed. She says this has allowed some people to escape accountability.
如果在关键的证据，当时的国家暴力情治单位 没有勇于承担负责，所以事实的真相永远不会厘清啊，这样永远不会厘清啊，所以转型正义 就是中间有太大的缺口。
As head of the National Human Rights Commission, Chen says she's fighting to address injustices in Taiwan and around the world, though Taiwan is blocked from international organizations that would help it play a bigger role. Part of the Commission's work is monitoring Taiwan's progress on UN human rights covenants, even though Taiwan is not a member state. For Chen, protection should extend to the nearly 700,000 migrants working in Taiwan, who face constant discrimination and exploitation. She was confronted with this issue on a recent trip to Europe. Leaders there criticized Taiwan's handling of migrant worker rights.
我们要求要来改善外籍移工的人权，保障他们的基本的工资待遇，还有应该一种人道在远洋渔业的船上，要有一些人道的基本的设施设备，好让这些移工受到有安全的保障。
The continuing abuse faced by migrant workers is proof that Taiwan still has a lot of work to do to protect the human rights of everyone in the country. But Chen says that goal is an ideal worth fighting for. Rick Yi, Patrick Chen, BT Zhuang, and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's military has proposed changes to a defense act that would allow minors to be mobilized during national emergencies. The All-Out Defense Mobilization Readiness Act is supposed to help improve the country's response in the event of a war or emergency. Under the new proposals, the military would be able to mobilize people aged 16 and over to help in supporting roles. Under Taiwanese law, anyone under 18 is considered a minor. The main opposition Kuomintang has criticized the government for potentially endangering children. Several neighborhood chiefs from Taiwan's southern Kaoshiung city organized an unofficial delegation to China. The visit was welcomed by China's head of Taiwan Affairs Office, but has worried some Taiwanese politicians. Yu Jinghuang has more.
A Taiwanese delegation in Beijing, meeting with the director of China's Taiwan Affairs Office, Song Tao. The trip was organized by neighborhood chiefs from Kaohsiung in Taiwan's south. But it was not sanctioned by the country's central government. The neighborhood chiefs said the purpose of the visit was to exchange ideas about community management.
我们交流都是一般的生活上的一些面向啦，就是环保议题啊、长照2.0啊、一般的里民啊、社区发展协会的啊，还有一些社团啊。
It's not unusual for local community leaders from Taiwan to visit China. But this was the first trip to take place since China reopened its borders. Such delegations have caused concern among Taiwan's politicians in the past. Years ago, a group of more than 100 neighborhood chiefs were photographed holding a sign during a visit that said, "Unification for China is a responsibility." During the most recent delegation's meeting with Song Tao, he mentioned the One China principle. This is China's formula that says Taiwan belongs to the People's Republic. Kaohsiung City Councilor Zhang Boyang said the exchange is an example of Chinese soft propaganda.
中共利用所谓的基层里长的交流来进行渗透这件事情，其实行之有年。那你知我知，政府都皆知哦。那政府不仅没有采取动作，也看不出来有任何的警觉心，真的是大开我们国安的一个漏洞。
He said Taiwan should pass laws to prevent similar attempts by China to influence Taiwanese citizens. Taiwan's current laws require high-level government officials and people in certain positions to report any visit to China. But that doesn't apply to Taiwan's more than 8,000 neighborhood chiefs. And although these local leaders are not directly involved in setting national policy, they can still make an impact through their day-to-day interactions with the masses. Asnaya Zhou and Yu Jinghuang for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally today, we leave you with images of frosty trees in eastern Taiwan's Taipei. Just look at that beauty. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.